Why don't we try something a bit different today? I know it's technically cheating because this isn't really a video game, but I can do whatever I want. This guy right here is what we're going to talk about today. The Zune HD is Microsoft's feeble attempt at a portable HD media player, which they canned a mere 2 years after initial production. They bragged about the functionality of its browser, its excellent frame rate with HD video, and large marketplace. All lies. Right, let's take a look at this monster. First thing you'll notice, other than the very eccentric background, is the menu system. Very iTunesy, but nothing necessarily bad. It's very bland, which is kind of disappointing. You swipe to the left, you have Now Playing, Quick Select, History, newly added. Again, nothing we haven't seen. Button on the side brings up the volume, select, and song control menu. This is bad, really. The reason I say so is because it would have been easier to have buttons on the side. Because as with most other things on this, it is incredibly slow. It's laggy when you're not even doing anything. If you're trying to run an app in the background, then it just doesn't work. Now let's skip on to music. As you can see, it's very iTunesy. Genres, albums, artists. Although because YouTube hates content creators, we're going to have to blur all this out for copyright. And even if we didn't have to fight with YouTube about what we're posting up now, if you'll take a look at it, no speakers anywhere. That's a big no for music players this generation, or even that generation, technically. So you're going to have to take my word for it. It's not bad. Again, it's slow to load up songs, but nothing terrible. So, yeah, I wouldn't suggest it. Next, we go to radio. It's horrible. Yes, unfortunately, I could not get a clear signal anywhere I tried using it, which kind of sucks, because this was the thing I was excited for the most, because most players these days don't have built-in radios. And Microsoft took the idea and they zoomed it, making it terrible. Right, video time. For some reason, you might want to watch video on here. I haven't loaded any up because 1, you need to have it in a very, very specific format. 2, I'll have to use the Zune program even more, which is hell on a computer. And 3, it will kill your eyes. The frame rate is so slow. The sound, again, no speakers, so you're forced to listen to it with headphones. And it's just an all-around unpleasant experience mixed with a terrible screen. It just doesn't work out well. And lastly, we look at the apps. You might notice that there's no menu option for apps. Let me tell you a story about the Zune's marketplace. You know how I said the project was canceled after 2 years? That's because no one bought them. And when you cancel a project, you take down the crappy marketplace that's associated with it. So I do not have any of the apps to show you, which is unfortunate, because that was the one thing that the Zune did right. You see, I'm not sure if you'll remember this, but there is a game for the computer released maybe 2008, not quite sure, called Audio Surf. If you don't know, it creates these improvised racetracks that coordinate with your song's volume or intensity or other black magic like that. And the Zune had the greatest version of that I'd ever seen. It was called Audio Surf Tilt. And tilting the screen to move your car along instead of using a mouse or keyboard, it was much more natural, I guess you could call it. But it sucks because Zune canceled their own marketplace. So I can't get that for you. That's about it for the Zune, but there's one more thing I have to do. Obviously, I've been hinting towards things that I could compare it to, I'll give you some hints. Menu button at the bottom, very unusual plug at the bottom, silver side finish with a black outside finish. Yes, this is an iPod. Except it isn't. It's a terrible iPod. You can even tell that they're ripping it off because if you'll notice on iPhones, they have the Made in Apple, California, which they pride themselves on. You probably won't be able to see it from here. This says, "Hello from Seattle" on it. Pretty much confirming that yes, this is trying to say, oh, it's an iPod, but it's not an iPod. When this was released, you could buy an iPod Touch for about $30 more expensive than this. So, you can either buy this, or buy an iPod for $30 more, which has a better marketplace, more apps, better screen, better functionality, radio apps that work, by the way, and just an all-around better experience than the Zune HD. So, what is my final score for the Zune HD? 5 out of 10. Because really, it works. It does kind of what it advertises. But again, it's just, you buy an iPod. I'm Colin. Thank you for watching Cool Gaming. I'll see you next time. One last thing I forgot to mention. It has an internet browser. You don't even want to see the internet browser. Not one website connects. Just that I don't have anything else to say about it. You can't connect to the internet. The one thing it advertises, can't do. Alright, that's it.